Our safe distancing has been the buzzword of the year, with COVID-19 keeping people home and apart from each other. Designers and architects say the experience shows that living spaces like buildings and towns must become more self-sufficient. From all-in-one rooms to multi-purpose buildings, Chua Tian Tian finds out how the impact of the pandemic is set to alter Singapore's landscape.
Live, work and play, all within a 10-minute walk of your home. But more amenities close at hand means fewer will need to travel out of their neighbourhood. Experts say having such town hubs is now more fitting in the wake of COVID-19 because they also stop illnesses from spreading across the island. One similar trend that's catching on is the integrated development, where homes, shops, eateries, sports halls and even parks are found in the same building.
When the lockdown happens, when circuit breaker was implemented, you start to see, yes, people do not go out, the streets are empty, but people are flocking to the parks and the gardens because they want the respite. And I think we need to see beyond just increasing the park networks in Singapore, how we can incorporate all this greenery into our individual development.
In future, experts believe more urban farms can be added to towns and buildings to make them self-reliant in a crisis.
COVID-19 has taught us that when there is a clamp down and a quarantine, the availability of supply of all the fresh produce that we have are interrupted. Yeah. Urban farming is really to ensure that if there is a disruption in the supply chain, we will be able to cope temporarily with that break in supply chain while giving us time to restore our supply chain going forward.
Authorities also want more integrated developments in the city area, so it will be more vibrant during all hours of the day, essentially to make it more like other town hubs. The Urban Redevelopment Authority, for instance, is encouraging developers to turn older office towers into mixed-use spaces under an incentive scheme.
When you have an integrated development, there are some infrastructural provisions that can now be shared in an office. Most people come during the daytime. Whereas in a retail mall, it's usually at night or at lunch hour. You can see that the demands on energy and parking spaces are almost opposite of each other. So when you share a parking lot or you share an energy plant, you can now balance these loads more easily.
Meantime, designers say existing smaller spaces such as the office might also have to be repurposed for good.
Our personal desk space has constantly shrunk. In the past, it could probably 100 square feet per person. Now, probably it's shrunk until 70. Personal space definitely will shrink even further because now you have alternate working systems and processes. Now, the more tricky question is, do we still need that much space for meeting? At this point, we find that these virtual meetings cannot totally replace physical meetings, especially with very close clients.
It's why some like DP architects are creating workspaces that look like pods, which can also be moved to become small meeting spaces with safe distancing. Like offices, experts say there's room for other spaces to suit more than one purpose, especially when crises can be unpredictable. For instance, some future hospital wards will come with modular layouts. These can quickly be turned into intensive care units just by adding doors and equipment. As part of future designs, smart building management systems will become more necessary, particularly since these cut down on the manpower needed to monitor airflow, crowds, and cleanliness that keep occupants safe during a public health crisis.